With the help of the Almighty, my name is Rabbi Yisroel Dovid Weiss from the Turei Jews United Against Zionism. We are presently in the United Nations here in New York. We are here part of a delegation of rabbis, part of the International Day of Solidarity for Palestine. We've been here yesterday and today where there many ambassadors and distinguished speakers came to speak up for Palestine. One of the speakers was Marc Lamont, a distinguished a spokesperson, a distinguished member of the press, and somebody who decided to speak up because his heart pains, his heart hurts, and he cried out at the injustice of what's happening to the Palestinian people. And he spoke yesterday, today he's been punished, that he's been fired from his job. We feel that we must speak up about this. He's obviously, the excuses because he'll be being accused of being anti-Semitic, because or else why would you fire him if you speak out against Israel? And we therefore have to speak up at this injustice because the concept of the occupation, this whole Zionist entity, this ideology that formed the Zionist state of Israel, is totally a fraud. It is an abuse of our Jewish religion, and that is why we're actually here to plead with the world that they should know that this is an injustice. Judaism is a religion subservient to God, and that is all it's about. And the occupation, this Zionist state of Israel that's a mere 70 years, is a transformation to nationalism that is a patent fraud. They are using the Star of David. They are using the name Israel. The Star of David, which they're using, is a blatant thievery, a blatant case of stealing the identity of a people. We are here as Jews. The Torah does not permit us to steal or kill, does not permit us to occupy. In fact, the Torah forbids us to even have a Jewish state, Jewish sovereignty since the destruction of the temple 2,000 years ago. And the only reason that the Zionists took this identity, even though they detest the religion and they are nationalism and they ignore the words of God, is because they need this facade to intimidate people not to speak out against their blatant crime of occupation. We are here and we are telling the world their existence is not acceptable. It's criminal. It's a nekba. And when they wave their flag and they speak up against anybody who dares to speak up for the rights of the Palestinians and the hurt of the Palestinians and accuse them of anti-Semitism, that is just another unacceptable injustice and detestable, repugnant act. Marc Lamont has stood up for what is godly. He's speaking up for what is right. The justice of the people who are the victims of villains. The villain is Zionism in the state of Israel. Let the world speak up and speak out against Israel that is not only beating the Palestinians, but daily they are beating and arresting Jewish people who never carry a gun, Jews who, because they refuse to serve in the Israeli army, and anybody can see this on our site, nkusa.org, and links. You can see how Jews are being just brutally beaten. Every single boy and girl who turns 17 becomes a criminal if they're living in the occupied Palestine in Jerusalem, simply because they refuse to serve in the Zionist state of Israel. We refuse to serve. We stand up and say there should be a speedy and peaceful dismantlement of the Zionist state of Israel, a free Palestine, and Marc Lamont should get back his job.